Tonight we have WWE Bad Blood, but it looks like there's also a little bit of bad blood in the MMA community. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. Yes, we are a wrestling channel, but sometimes, the odd time, we might talk about boxing, and sometime, if I'm really desperate for views, or I'm really desperate for a topic to talk about, we might even go into the world of MMA. But believe it or not, tonight, I'm not desperate. I just wanted to make a video, wanted to give my opinion on this little shitstorm that we see flying about on Twitter, on YouTube, etc. So basically there's a bit of a beef going on between Nina Marie, who is this hot UFC, I guess she's a social media, I don't believe she works for the UFC, she gets like media passes, I guess she's like a independent interviewer or whatever, a journalist, I guess. She's a hot journalist, I guess that's the way of describing her. And the MMA guru, who I didn't know actually existed until the other night, checked out his video, and you know what, seems like a pretty entertaining guy. So this is not a hit piece on him at all, but I did kind of want to address a little bit of the beef, and I kind of agree with him in points, but there's also one thing that I don't agree in. So basically, there was UFC 307, the press conference, and this, large woman, this wide load, asked a question. And the MMA guru obviously tweeted this, and he said, "Honestly, so disrespectful of the UFC cameraman at the UFC 307 press conference to be like, nah, you guys got to see this in the middle of her question. Honestly, pathetic behaviour and not funny at all." It kind of is funny, I mean, it's what it is. She's overweight. I mean, that's not a lie. That's a straight up fact. I mean, just look at the picture. It can't be denied, okay? But Nina Marie, we're just going to call her Nina. I don't know. I'm going to call her Nina like I know her on a personal basis. I mean, she's hot and I don't know her. I wish I did know her. But we're going to call her Nina just for the sake of this video. So she replies, and I don't know if I should read it all, but she basically says that she's been keeping her mouth shut, and that this guy has been crying like a little bitch, and that she's going to speak up for Amy, because it's not right that this guy is basically fat shaming. I don't know, should I just read the whole thing? She said, alright, I'll just go through it. She says, "I've been keeping my mouth shut about this clout chasing Fairman since I started in UFC, and he hasn't been able to keep my name out of his mouth. Crying about me like a little bitch on the internet. But for Amy, I had to speak up. I may not be everybody's cup of tea. I might be cringe and annoying, and I don't shy away from using my assets for views. They're a great set, and I will use every tool at my disposal without actually desecrating myself for success in my career. But that doesn't make me an indecent human, which is what you like to all allude to as of late. This is what makes you so indecent and despicable. So much that I had to say something. This is the reason why you will never make it out of that stale basement doing internet interview calls for the rest of your life, prostituting yourself for donations that don't even cover a premium sum account. There's a reason why you had to take on the role of heel on the backside of the MMA media industry. And it's because you're a rude, foul, ignorant, dusty, pathetic troll that causes more problems than you're worth. Trust me, everyone at UFC knows who you are, because all the rumours and lies you've spread for clicks and views. You owe Photo Amy an apology, and while you're at it, apologise to yourself for turning out less than human, an excrement stain on society. And now, the reason another person is going to sleep feeling devalued and violated. I would love for you guys to check out Amy's work. She's a fantastic journalist and a valuable contribution to MMA. I bet you she contributes to McDonald's as well. Anyway, guys, right, so I cannot say if this guy has called out Nina in the past. So she claims that he has, and honestly, I don't care enough to go and check out all his videos to see if he has. Okay, I can only really base it here on what Nina is saying. And while I get it, this Amy person might be her friend. And you want to defend your friends. I mean, I get that, but at the same time, I don't really see where she's coming from. I mean, this one guy has made a fat joke, and in the MMA guru's response, he brought up the fact that Nina is friends with Sean Strickland. And I really like Sean Strickland. What a funny guy. But he has made fat jokes. He has joked about gay people, he's joked about people dying, and I'm not saying that you can't do that, alright, maybe I think joking about people dying is a little bit, too far, especially if it's soon. I mean, I think if you joke about Titanic, it's kind of different because it happened 100 years ago. I wouldn't really joke about an individual person dying, especially if it was recent and they didn't do anything bad or whatnot. But anyway, I digress. I mean, the point that I'm making is that Nina is coming across here as like some sort of virtue signaler. You know, she's trying to attack this guy because he made a fat joke. Whereas, you know, she has been in interviews with Sean Strickland where she's laughed at him making fat jokes. And to be fair, the MMA guru pointed that out in his response. So I agree with him. I agree with him about that, 100%, because, I mean, we all need to lighten up a little bit. Let's not cancel people. Let's not get butthurt because somebody made a joke about somebody being fat. You know, like I said, this MMA guru guy, he won't be the last guy. He isn't the first guy. There'll be many more fat jokes made in the world. So it is what it is, right? So I do believe that it is a bit hypocritical for her to attack this guy. I think that this post is... See, again, I don't know what kind of person he is, and the things that she's saying here, this sounds like a really bad attack. So I am defending this guy as well because she's called him, like, foul and not even human. I mean, what kind of person do you need to be not even human? We kind of, like, save that for, you know, the murderers of the world and the molesters of the world and, you know, things like that. That's what we kind of save the not human people for. Or even if you, like, I don't know, abuse animals, then I would say you're not human. Making a fat joke online, that's not enough to be called not human. So, like, I actually do agree that I think Nina here is out of order, and I just don't believe that what she's saying about this guy is true. Now, he could be all this, but from basically this one tweet that I've seen from the guy, that this doesn't make him, you know, unhuman. It just doesn't. So I think she was wrong to come out and attack him there. But he then replied, and he basically, he said that he wants to try and stop basically porn, and he wants to stop OnlyFans and things like that, and he doesn't agree with that. And you know what? I agree with him. I think that the world would be a better place if we didn't have OnlyFans and people weren't doing that shit and selling themselves for money. I do actually understand where he is coming from. However, where he totally lost me was he would basically, and I don't know what Nina's done in her past, okay? I mean, I think she was in Playboy or whatever. I mean, good for her. Made a bit of money. Personally, I wouldn't want my, you know, wife or daughter or mother or anything like that to do any of that stuff. But here, if she wanted to do that to make money, I guess it's legal. We don't agree with it, but whatever, she can do that. But, right, he then went on to talk about, like, the rules of Twitter. And he says that you need to be plus 13 to join Twitter. And then he looked at some of the pictures that Nina uploads on Twitter and the fact that she uses her assets for views. And he literally quoted her here when she says she's never shied away from using her assets and they're a great set and that she will use every tool at her disposal. And then he kept going back to the whole Twitter thing and the fact that if you're 13 years old, you can have a Twitter account. Then he plucked out a couple of photos of Nina posing normally with some fans that were under the age of 18. And what he did was he insinuated, now he didn't outright say it, but he insinuated, and if he denies this, and he's a liar, he insinuated that Nina is a P. You know, the word beginning with P rhymes with middle, soprano, meadow, middle, meadow. You put a P in front of meadow and you take away the M, you know what you get there. So he was insinuating that Nina is one of them because she shows her cleavage, you know, because she wears like low cut tops and she does some like training in MMA and sometimes like you see her getting thrown to the ground and she might be like maybe, let's just say, you know, wearing a bit revealing clothing and maybe when she's like squeezing up against people, you kind of see her, you know, chest squeezing together and you know what he's getting at, right? And for him to say that she is a medal with a P in front of that, and I have to say that or else YouTube will take me down, but for him to insinuate that she's one of them, that is quite frankly wrong, and I think that's disgusting, and I think that is also, I think that's actually, you know, disingenuous, and it takes away from like the crime of real scum that do that kind of stuff, that prey on like children. The fact that he is accusing Nina as being the same as them, you know, that is, and I get it, maybe she's, you know, attacked him and he wants to attack her back because she said some really bad things about him, and I get he might want to say some bad things back about her, but for him to come out and claim that she is one of them just because she shows a little bit of cleavage and that you can have a Twitter account from the age of 13. What a stretch that is. And it's an outright lie. I don't believe this guy is dumb enough to believe that, because he seems like a semi-intelligent person when I was listening to his video last night. So I don't think he's that retarded that he can possibly, draw that conclusion and believe that he is correct in saying that. I mean, you want to look at, let's look at TV series, look at movies, look at wrestling, look at music, look at the music industry. How many times do we see women that are clothed, but they sexualize themselves to try and get more popularity, to get more views, to get more eyes on their products? And all that stuff isn't 18. Okay, wrestling, you have kids watching. I have seen movies that are 12 rated, and you literally get hot women showing cleavage, or you might even get them in their like underwear if there's like, a certain scene coming up, and you will see women not wearing a lot of clothes. You look at the music industry. I mean, look at all these rappers. Look at Megan Thee Stallion. Look at Cardi B. Look at the kind of stuff they rap about. Look at their videos. Look at the clothing, or should I say the lack of clothing that they are wearing. So, I mean, for this guy to come out and call Nina, a medal or a middle just because she, just because she like pushes her assets together sometimes with her arms, and because she wears some low cut tops, that's a ridiculous claim. It's not like she's got an OnlyFans. I mean, she's a hot woman. I think she's entitled. I don't think that crosses the line. If she wants to show a little bit of cleavage to try and get more views and to get more popularity, then I think she's entitled to do that. I don't think that makes her like a slut or anything like that, and it certainly doesn't make her a medal. So, totally disagree with the guy there. Plus, I actually think she's a pretty funny and entertaining person. If you followed her stuff, I mean, she does a lot of MMA content. And, she's not just a pretty face, she's actually entertaining. I do enjoy watching her videos. So, I totally disagree with that guy and the links that he was trying to make. And honestly, I think he should retract that, because it's embarrassing that he's basically accusing her of being one of them. But at the same time, I do think that her original post was out of order, unless, there's something that's happened in the past. And I don't know if he has done something that's worthy of being called rude, foul, ignorant, dusty, pathetic, etc., and unhuman, but it certainly wasn't that. So, I mean, I think that both of them are in the wrong, but she's certainly not a medal or a medo, that is for sure. Definitely not. Anyway, guys, that's it. I'll catch you in the next one. Just did a wee bit of MMA news here, because there's not much going on right now, so till next time. There is UFC 307, but who cares, man? UFC 307, who gives a shit? Till next time, peace.